I would say more broadly, nothing has really changed from about a couple months
Okay.
ago when we talked about semiconductor volumes coming down, right? So we downgraded the semi-cap space back in June, and that's typically a leading indicator for where semi volumes go, and that's been going down, right? So I think near term, nothing has really changed yet in the sense that semi volumes are probably going down. But specifically to AMD and NVIDIA, the reason why we cut numbers is because a lot of these cryptocurrency mining chips that are being taken off are being sold in the used market now. Newegg, eBay, Amazon, you can see all these chips coming online. And to give everybody kind of a rough number to think about, back in December of last year, you couldn't find any discounts. Everything was essentially selling at a premium to retail prices.
Right.
But right now, you can get every single item for essentially, call it 40% off retail. So that probably means a little bit less revenue for AMD and NVIDIA for the quarter. It doesn't change anything about the long-term story, but it's something I think investors need to pay attention to.
I mean, it's an interesting change, over the past year when you took a look at the demand for the GPUs back then. I mean, it was off the charts. I mean, it was practically an inventory shortage on those, and it's a very different story now. But what I don't get, Mitch, is for example, for NVIDIA, I mean, NVIDIA never wanted to make it seem like that was a big part of their business. And in fact, the CEO would go on the call and say, this is a small part of our business. We don't want anybody to think, to extrapolate this. So why was it that Wall Street, on its own seemingly, decided that it was a big driver of the business? And so when that business fell off, the stock fell off a cliff.
Yeah, so the quick math is this. Essentially, AMD and NVIDIA were talking about doing $150 to $100 million per quarter in crypto-related revenue, right? So that would get you to about 250, maybe 300, right? But when you look at the hash rates and you add up the entire value of the GPUs for the last 2 years, we get to a number of around $2.5 billion, roughly. So essentially, that would be a run rate closer to 500 million, right? So there was a $250 to $300 million hole split between AMD and NVIDIA that people had mismodeled. So essentially now that's coming out, and I think it'll be another quarter here of kind of lower revenues because essentially you're seeing the discounts in the market today. And so after that, you'll finally be through kind of the 6-month pain period.
Mitch, what were you saying on the gaming front? Because we just spoke about how well Fortnite itself has been doing. Is it because of their success? Is it cannibalizing competitors, or what's going on there with the weakness that you're seeing?
So the weakness, again, is more just on the secondary market, right? So essentially, if you can buy a GTX 1070, right, or an AMD 570 or AMD 580 at a 40% discount, it's very unlikely that you're going to buy the new one, right? Essentially, what you do is you'll buy the older one that still has a 2-year warranty, and as long as the chip wasn't overclocked and lost the warranty, you can still use it, right? So essentially, it's not really that the gaming demand, the core gaming demand has slowed down. At the end of the day, people are still playing games like Fortnite, PUBG, et cetera. But when you look at the types of chips they're going to buy, they're going to probably move to the used market near term because essentially they're going to get the same chip at a lower price.